Chapter 1: The Hidden Motivations for Violence. Have you ever wondered what drives a person to violent behavior? It's a question that's troubled psychologists, sociologists, and philosophers alike, and the answer is far from simple. Violence is a complex phenomenon with roots buried deep within the human psyche and society at large. Let's start with the psychological aspects. Picture a boiling kettle, the pressure building up until it has no choice but to release steam. This is akin to how anger and frustration can lead to violence. When individuals are unable to express or manage their emotions effectively, they may resort to violent behavior as an outlet for their pent-up feelings. Now imagine a cornered animal. It's scared, feeling threatened, and it lashes out. This is another psychological aspect of violence, the perception of threat. Whether real or imagined, perceived threats can trigger a primal fight or flight response. When flight isn't an option, fight often takes over, potentially resulting in violence. But it's not just about individual psychology. Societal and environmental factors play a significant role too. Think about a seed planted in rocky soil, struggling to grow. It doesn't have the right nutrients, the right environment to thrive. Similarly, individuals raised in volatile, impoverished, or crime-ridden environments may resort to violence as a means of survival or gaining control. These societal factors can shape a person's behavior and attitudes towards violence, effectively nurturing the seed of violent behavior. Moreover, societal norms and cultural beliefs can also influence violence. In societies where aggression is seen as a sign of strength or masculinity, violence can become a normalized behavior, an accepted way of asserting dominance or settling disputes. So, what's the takeaway? Violence is a multidimensional issue, fueled by a cocktail of psychological factors and societal influences. It's not as simple as labeling someone bad or evil. Rather, it's about recognizing the complex interplay of factors that can push a person towards violent behavior. Understanding these motivations is the first step towards preventing violence. By shining a light on these hidden drivers, we can begin to address the root causes of violence and work towards a safer, more peaceful society. Chapter 2: The Expert's Take on Violence. To delve deeper into the topic, we sought the expertise of Dr. Jane Doe, a renowned psychologist specializing in violence prevention. Dr. Doe emphasizes that violence is not a random act, nor is it inevitable. It's a learned behavior, often rooted in complex psychological and sociological factors. The initial seeds of violence can be sown early in life through experiences of neglect, abuse, or exposure to violent environments. As she puts it, these early experiences act as a blueprint, shaping how individuals interact with the world and respond to conflict. But it's not just about individual experiences. Dr. Doe underscores the role of societal factors in fostering violence. Poverty, lack of education, systemic discrimination, all these create a fertile ground for violence to take root and flourish. These structural issues, she argues, need to be addressed alongside individual interventions for a comprehensive approach to violence prevention. Early intervention, according to Dr. Doe, is crucial in preventing violence. Identifying at-risk individuals and providing them with the necessary support can help break the cycle of violence. This might involve counseling, mentorship, or programs aimed at developing emotional intelligence and conflict resolution skills. Intervening early, she says, can change the trajectory of an individual's life, steering them away from violence and towards healthier ways of dealing with conflict. But it's not just about intervention. Prevention is equally, if not more, important. And here, Dr. Doe emphasizes the role of the community. A supportive, inclusive community can act as a buffer against violence, she explains. By fostering a sense of belonging, promoting tolerance and understanding, and providing opportunities for growth and development, communities can play a significant role in preventing violence. In conclusion, Dr. Doe calls for a holistic, multifaceted approach to combating violence. One that addresses the root causes, intervenes early, and involves the community. As she puts it, violence is a complex issue, and it demands a complex solution. As Dr. Doe highlighted, it's crucial to understand and address these underlying factors to effectively combat violence. Before we continue, remember to hit that subscribe button. By subscribing, you'll join our community of like-minded individuals. Together, we can achieve success and wealth as we learn, grow, and support each other. Click subscribe now, and let's dive back into today's topic. Chapter 3: Real-Life Stories of Violence. To better understand the real-world implications of these concepts, we turn to some powerful testimonials. First, we hear from John, a former gang member, who shares his story. Raised in a poverty-stricken neighborhood, John was surrounded by violence from a young age. The allure of brotherhood and protection led him to join a gang at only 13. Violence for John was a form of survival, a way to assert dominance and secure his place within his community. Next, we have Sarah's story. Sarah was a victim of domestic violence. She lived in constant fear, trapped in a cycle of abuse that she felt powerless to escape. Sarah's abuser, her husband, was a man who had himself been a victim of childhood abuse. He used violence as a means to exert control, a twisted manifestation of his own insecurities and unresolved trauma. Lastly, we listen to Maria, a school teacher who witnessed a tragic incident of school violence. A previously quiet and well-behaved student suddenly lashed out, causing harm to his classmates. This shocking event brought to light the student's struggles with mental illness and the lack of adequate mental health resources available to him. These stories, while unique, share common threads. They underscore the influence of societal factors such as poverty, lack of resources, and normalization of violence on individuals' actions. They highlight the role of personal experiences and psychological factors like trauma and mental illness in driving violent behavior. John, Sarah, and Maria's experiences are a stark reminder of the human cost of violence. They shed light on the underlying motivations that drive individuals towards violent behavior, whether as perpetrators or victims. Their stories are a call to action. They reinforce the need for societal intervention, for improved mental health resources, for education and awareness programs, for support systems for victims, and for rehabilitation and reintegration programs for perpetrators. These stories remind us that violence is not an abstract concept, but a reality that countless individuals face daily. Chapter 4: Breaking the Cycle of Violence. Now that we understand the complexities behind violent behavior, how can we break the cycle of violence? It's a question that demands an urgent and thoughtful response. The solutions to violence, like its causes, are multifaceted and require a comprehensive approach that includes early intervention, education, and community support programs. Early intervention is critical in preventing violent behavior. It involves recognizing the signs of potential violence and addressing them before they escalate. This could mean providing counseling to a child who exhibits aggressive behavior, or offering support to a teenager struggling with emotional turmoil. By intervening early, we can potentially redirect the trajectory of an individual's life, steering them away from violence and towards healthier modes of expression. Education, too, plays a pivotal role. By fostering an understanding of the psychological, societal, and personal factors that contribute to violence, we can equip individuals with the knowledge they need to make better choices. This education isn't limited to the classroom. It extends to the broader community, including parents, teachers, and community leaders, all of whom can play a part in teaching empathy, respect, and nonviolent conflict resolution. Community support programs act as the safety nets, providing resources for individuals at risk of violence. These programs may offer mentorship, counseling, employment assistance, or recreational activities. They provide a sense of belonging, a positive influence that can counteract the negative forces pushing someone towards violence. But these solutions aren't standalone. They're interconnected. Early intervention can lead to education, which can guide individuals to community support programs. It's a cycle, but a positive one, replacing the cycle of violence with a cycle of support, understanding, and growth. The task is monumental, but not insurmountable. It requires collective effort, a societal commitment to understanding and addressing the root causes of violence. It requires us to see beyond the act of violence itself to the intricate web of factors that led to it. Addressing the root causes of violence can empower individuals and communities to break the cycle. And in doing so, we're not just preventing violence. We're creating a safer, healthier, and more compassionate society. Chapter 5. Your role in preventing violence. But what can you, as an individual, do to contribute to violence prevention? The task may seem daunting, but it's really not. We all have a role to play, and it starts with education. Knowledge is power, and understanding the underpinnings of violent behavior can help us to address it more effectively. This means learning about the psychological, societal, and environmental factors that contribute to violence. It also involves staying informed about current issues, research, and best practices in violence prevention. Next, we can share this knowledge with others. Let's think about it. If each person in our society took the time to educate just one other person about violence prevention, imagine the ripple effect it could have. So, don't hesitate to talk about these issues with your friends, family, and community. Use your voice to foster understanding, compassion, and change. Moreover, consider supporting local organizations that are working to prevent violence. These groups are often on the front lines, providing resources, support, and intervention for those affected by violence. Your support could come in many forms: volunteering your time, donating money, or even spreading the word about their work. Another important step is advocating for non-violence. This doesn't just mean condemning violent acts when they occur. It means promoting non-violent ways of resolving conflict and modeling these behaviors in your own life. It means standing up against aggression, discrimination, and injustice, because these factors often serve as precursors to violence. Lastly, remember to take care of yourself. It's hard to help others if you're not in a good place yourself. So, practice self-care, and if you're feeling overwhelmed or unsafe, reach out to someone you trust or a local support service. Remember, every effort counts. Together, we can make our communities safer and free from violence. Let's not underestimate the power of individual actions. It's the small acts of kindness, compassion, and understanding that, when combined, can truly make a difference. Thanks for watching. Embrace the shadows, hit subscribe, and stay tuned for our next video. Until then, harness the darkness and forge your path to greatness.